Assalamu alaikum and hello. I'm Azmasha from Drupak and we are into day 13 of DDCTP in Drupal and specifically theming part 7. Today we'll be studying a very important and powerful concept in Drupal called single directory components, and we will be creating some components in conjunction with the TailwindCSS based library called DaisyUI. So both are very powerful features. This lecture is not related 100% to DaisyUI. You can use any front-end library or UI library, but actually the concepts which will be taught in this lecture are pertaining to single directory components, and all of the newer Drupal theming scenarios are surrounded by this very powerful feature. In fact, the new um, experience builder is also heavily based on single directory components, and we will have a very detailed dive learning it in this lecture. So let's dive in. Okay, so we are on the NASA website again. You can just, for example, go to any such website. So this is a section which has a title, description, and a link and a background image. So far whatever we have learned is, for example, if this is going to be a paragraph type and we need markup and styling like this, so what will we do? We'll create a relevant paragraph template, right? And this will be the image field, sorry, this will be the text field, this is description, and then the link and the background for the background image field. But say we want that for a block type also, or for a view or any other entity type. So what we will do is we will reuse the markup which we have done in paragraph type, and this is kind of duplication or redundancy. So what actually are single directory components? And by the way, now single directory components are in Drupal core. They used to be a separate module, and maybe in very near future, or in fact already, they will be called components in Drupal, just not the older word single directory components, but maybe they will be called components. And they kind of, those of you who have worked with React.js or similar libraries, so the component concept is almost the same. So if I go to single directory components in Drupal documentation, okay, not this one because this used to be a module, but this one. So though the title is single directory components, but here the paragraph starts with components. So components are an important part of Drupal's theming system, and I would say just for the last 3 or 4 years, or 2 or 3 4 years, right? So what they do is they combine HTML, CSS, JavaScript in a customizable and reusable way. So we will do all this, and in fact there is an example also, and maybe we will copy it from this documentation, but for now let us start doing it ourselves. So a recap, for example, so far we have been creating some paragraph types, and one of them was hero, if you remember. So hero has a background image. What else we have created? Let me recall. So if you go to the templates folder, in the paragraphs folders we have all these types, maybe accordion and the cards. This one is card. Okay, so we have a paragraph type card. This one, manage fields. So it has description, links, media image, and title. Yes. Okay, and the design will be, if we create a card, or maybe we already have some cards already on the page somewhere. let us quickly create one. So if I create card, add content, and we have this one I created before the class, so maybe let us just do this. So if I click on this, it has two fields, text field, this is one, then the description. This is description, then the media image, maybe this one, and then the second text field, and maybe some URL links. But and the column, by the way, I have added these extra columns also, so that we can have a full stretch or different size columns. For the get back to the previous lectures, you will know how we had created this columns field. So full width and save. So now this design, this card shows in this format, and this is not the normal paragraph template, because if I go to the relevant paragraph, this one card one dot this, so I am doing something different here. This is include this card one and this, so we will move on from there here. So my point actually is, if we would have done this the normal way which we have been so far doing, so if I need the same design for a block, for example, or if I need the same design in a view, so we would be out copying the whole markup again and again. But now we have another system in place which is known as single directory components, and we will be studying them today. Also, to make things easier, and because we already are using TailwindCSS, so there is a library, a famous one, DaisyUI.com. It's open source. You can get a lot of components from the DaisyUI. So if I go to any of these components here, for example a button, so these are all the button types which we can use in our project. If we go to card, by the way, this card was copied from one of these card components. This is carousel, so you can have a very powerful JavaScript free carousel here. Then the chat bubbles, these are those bubbles. So what will be most interesting for us is something like maybe let us switch to this hero section. This is one design, this is another, this is another, so let us choose this one as an example. So in paragraph, what will we need to set it up?
The title, description, CTA, and background image.
Good. So these four fields, right?
Yes.
So let's do this. We will start with this. By the way, again, I forgot to go through some concept of atomic design. In what is atomic design? Atomic design principles in web.
Single design principles.
Atomic design methodology. So this is a very popular article, and there are many other as well. It's a philosophy of design, right? Like you can have any website, just if you go to this website, the NASA, so each and every element or a group of elements on this page can be divided into these things. Just like in chemistry we had studied atoms and molecules, so similarly in the excuse me, in this atomic design concept, the smallest element is called atoms, then molecules, organisms, then templates, and then pages. So can you tell me what these correspond to? Anybody? Yes, the smallest element in a design in a page. For example, if you look into this design, this one link is an atom. But if they combine, they become molecule. And then if they combine, they become organisms. So maybe this, where it is, this whole thing, and this is a template and then the whole page. So you have to think with this philosophy, and everything has been explained in this article. So each individual atom, for example, a link, how should a paragraph look? It's an atom. How should a link look? It's an atom. But if you have a bunch of links, they become molecule. If they are grouped into maybe card, that becomes organism. Similarly, templates and then the pages. So these are kind of heroes, right? And each hero, if we take example of this one, this is single thing, and then this one also, this button is also a single thing, but the whole group makes an organism, or combination becomes molecules, and then it becomes tablet, and then so on, pages. So everything is explained here, but this is actually a philosophy, so we will also take it from here. Okay, so the example we chose from DaisyUI is this hero section. But how to set up DaisyUI in your websites is very easy. I already have done it, but I will redo it. So if you go to the installation, here npm I minus, so we already have TailwindCSS set up. We just want to now add this, and we will go to the integrated terminal here, and since we are in ddiv, so we will do it inside the ddiv. So ddiv npm minus I minus d DaisyUI latest, that's it. And by the way, this you will have to do inside your theme, active theme. So DaisyUI already has been now installed. The next step is we'll go to the source TailwindCSS file, and I already have that directive there, but I will show you. So if you go to main.css, the import file, CSS main, sorry, style.css. So at the top, we already had at import TailwindCSS, and now we will have at plugin DaisyUI. By the way, DaisyUI gets you rid of a lot of TailwindCSS classes. So maybe if something needs say 10 classes, DaisyUI will have it for in 1 or 2 classes for you. And the directive to use is add plugin, and this is new to Tailwind CSS 4. So add plugin DaisyUI, this is what you need. One more thing, if we enable DaisyUI now and clear cache, it by default is in dark mode. So what you need to do in Drupal is to go to the relevant html.twig file inside the layout folder in your theme, and at the top in the HTML, after the attributes, you will have to add this thing, data dash theme equals light. Is this clear? These were just the 3 things you needed to do to set up DaisyUI. data dash theme attribute on the root HTML. It will make it light version, otherwise by default it is dark one. So this sets up daily, sorry, again I'm calling it daily, but it is Daisy. So DaisyUI has been set up. Now the next thing is we need to have the data structure for this, where it is. We'll go back to the components and hero. This one. So we need to set this thing up. What is the HTML? HTML just this, hero, min, edge, screen, background image is this, and then just a few classes. And you can already note that though some TailwindCSS classes have been used, but more or less these are just some default ones for DaisyUI. Okay, so what's the next step we need to do? And the goal is we should have this markup for all such heroes designs we want on the site, just not for paragraphs. So the first thing is, let us first create this component as a single directory component rather than a paragraph component or a block component or a view or node component or anything like this. Okay, so I'll copy this markup, or you can copy it from here as well. And inside the theme you should have, I already have created this folder, but I will create a new one. I will rename this one. I'll call it old. At the same time I will create a new folder called components. So components is the most important folder for you to set up as you see components. Also this can be inside the theme or inside your module, so both places can have the components directory, but we will do it in the components, in the theme directory components. Here we need to create a new folder and call it hero, or maybe heroes, because we can have a lot of different styles of heroes. So heroes, and inside the heroes we will have a new folder called hero1. That's it. Maybe hero1 is the easier name. So components, heroes will have a lot of different styles of hero. So here in the hero1 folder, the most important file to create is hero.components.yml. hero.components.yml. And there is another file as well which is called hero.twig. Notice this, there is some difference. Normally the Drupal twig files extension is .html.twig,
Yes.
but here it should be just twig. So hero.components.twig and hero.twig. One thing, as we are using TailwindCSS and Alpine.js, so we don't need to create our own JavaScript files, but we can easily have our own CSS files here, and all of it will be automatically included by Drupal for you. So for example, if I need some CSS file, it will be hero.css. Similarly, if I need some JavaScript file, it will be hero.js. So all of these files will be automatically included, and all of these will be relevant to just this one component. It will not be relevant to the whole site, and that's the power of single directory components. Okay, what are components.yml files for? These provide metadata to your for your component. So let me quickly copy one of them from the card component I just created before this class, so I will just copy everything from this for now, and it is in the YAML format. So in the components.yml, just paste it here. Okay, so at the top there is this schema, and you will just copy and paste it all the time because it provides some metadata schema.json standard, and we will be writing that according all the YAML file content according to that. So the name should be hero1. Description is a DaisyUI based hero component. Okay, then the props, and then the type is object. You just need to have these two like this. Then the properties. So properties are like variables inside the twig file. So the inside the properties you will have, these are actually the variables, this one, this one, this one. So in our design which we are copying, so what can be the variables?
The background image.
This is the background image, this one is a variable, right?
Title.
Then we have yes, this is title,
And description.
and this is description, and then the button get started. So 4 variables we need, right?
Yes, sir.
First one is, so the first one is
Title.
or maybe we will make it main title. Normally there are subtitles also. This is main title. This is the variable we will be using inside the twig file. And these are examples. For example, if you need to give, you will know why these are here. Then the subtitle. So do we have subtitle here, or we have just this is the main title, then this is description. So we already have description here. Description, image URL we need, and we already have image URL also.
Yes.
And the type is string because URL is also a string. And then we have links. So this is going to be a link, but for now we will just make it, we can make it text also, but link is good. So is this clear now?
Yes.
By the way, how to make a button clickable? You go to some URL.
Anchor tag. You can use it in anchor tag, sir.
Inside the button?
Yes, sir. Inside the button also. Outside the button also.
Okay, so now you know what variables are here. So we need to have this one also. Links, or maybe just we will make it link. Type is, so we can have arrays also as type, but for now we will make it string also, just for convenience. And description is not needed, but we should have it. Is this clear? So these are the 4 variables. Main title, we don't have subtitle here, so we will remove it. Main title, image URL, description, and link. So I think we are good to go. The next step is we also have created hero.twig. So hero.twig will have all the markup, and we are going to get this markup from this DaisyUI component. That's it. Clear? So what are next steps? We need to have the variables. We'll use the variables here. So rather than making it p, we can make it div. And this will become the description. Clear?
Yes.
This one will be main title,
Yes.
and this one is going to be link, I think. Sorry. And now main title, description, link. One thing we are missing, and that is image URL. So I think let us try it, but if it doesn't work this way, we'll have to set up a variable here. I think we can use it instead of this. We should have image URL, but I think this is not going to get manipulated. So how to fix it? We'll see. Is this clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the next step is we need to create some paragraph type or block type, so that we can call this twig file of this single directory component from that particular twig file. So we should create a what should we do? We'll go to paragraph types, add paragraph type, and we'll create a type called hero1, and then machine name is hero1. See, the next is we should reuse some of the fields we have already created, because what was the name of it? Hero1 manage fields. So if we have some title, we should have it. Normally my way of doing things is I normally create maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 text fields, and I call them just like this: text field 1, text field 2. So then you can reuse them. Maybe if for example you need it for father name, so the label can be different, but the machine name of the field will be the same. So we also have field title, so we can use this one also. The next is description. So we already have description field, yes, so we can reuse this. And then we will have what else?
Description, image, background image.
Yes, so we have image also, which is this one. And one thing, because we have made it image URL, so the manage display should have the thumbnail URL selected.
Yes,
Otherwise that would not be working. Okay, then the button link.
a link, CTA.
So we have, I think, a link field also. Sorry,
hero1.
reuse link. This CTA link is there. This one I created before the class, so we can reuse this one as well and save. So I think we are good to go for the design. The machine name of paragraph type is hero-1. If you go to structure, paragraph types, and this is the machine name of the paragraph type. So what should be the corresponding paragraph twig file for this?
hero_1.html.twig.
Yes, so you will come to your paragraph directly in the theme, this one. Copy the main paragraph template, because we already have copied it to the, so here we will paste it. Now just rename it to paragraph hero-1.html.twig. That's it. Okay, so previously what would we do is we would copy this DaisyUI markup into this I think there is some problem in the renaming. Should be hero dash one dot. Okay, so we would copy all the markup to this file and it would work pretty much fine. But again, for each entity type or paragraph type, we would be repeating that. So now what we can do is, for now just the concepts, I will remove everything from here. Even if you don't need these extra classes, I personally don't like these classes, so I will remove them. Now what do you think we should do so that the single directory component is that relevant twig is called?
We should include that file, sir.
Yeah, good. Some way of including that file. So what single directory components do is, you can just use this syntax include, and then where the place where the components have been defined. So we have defined our components in this theme, current theme. So it is dd cdp25 colon the name of the component, it is hero 1, machine name of the component. So it will automatically include that for you. You don't need to specify paths or anything like this. Okay, and then the next one is, if I go to the one of the examples I have created before this class, the single directory components in the older, so you can pass an object along so that the variables can also be passed. So if we go to the old components directly, this one, you can see this is the paragraph for hero 1, and this one is the card 1 paragraph I created before this class. So you can see after the comma when include the card, the single directory component, so we can pass an object. And similarly we are going to do the same here in our hero 1. So the first is the name of the single directory component, and the second one will be an object. And what this object will have, anybody?
These
Variables. So the left one will be the variables which you are using in this single directory component, and after the colon the value you are going to pass. So it can be any value like this. Okay, so let us do it now. What's the main the title field there? Main title, I think, there in the component.
Yes, sir, main title.
It's sorry, you can know from the metadata you have. So main title, image URL, description and link.
Yes.
Okay, so we will now be passing those variables from the relevant paragraph or block or any entity twig file into that. So main title is going to be, if I give something like this, this is main title. So what it will be? It will be a hard coded value.
Yes, sir.
But if we are inside the paragraph twig file and the content variable is available, so this is going to be, we can use that content dot field underscore title dot 0. So now this is going to be the dynamic value, because the paragraph type has one field underscore title field. The next one is image URL. So what it should be? The content dot
background image.
yes. So the machine name is field underscore media underscore image, I think.
Yes, sir.
Field underscore media underscore image, like this. And the third one is, you can use dot 0 also, so that Third one is field underscore description, and in the components it is description. So what should we write now?
On the left side we should write the description, on the right side we should write the machine names of the field.
Good. The data we are passing actually.
Yes.
So here we will description colon content dot field underscore description dot 0, and the last variable is how to wrap it to the okay, and the last one is the link.
Yes.
So in order to pass the link, you can dump it here so that we know what the link is, but maybe something like content dot field underscore link dot 0 dot URL or URI. Maybe we can try it. URI.
And here you should write the link and then colon.
Yes. So the variable there is link, and the value should be this. This is clear? Let us double check what the variable name was. So it was link, and the twig file also, this is link. This is clear? So kind of we have linked the paragraph twig file with the corresponding component.
Yes.
Is this clear? The next step is to clear cache. There may be some errors, we will fix them, but retrieve does cr. I think the background image will have some problem, but let's see. So yes, probably, let me check. So in the landing page testing hero 1, I think we need to specify that to the content hero 1. So if I add landing page and add content, and then we will add hero 1. So hero 1 has, this is the title, this is going to be some description, then the image, then some URL, and the number of columns should be full width for this. Let's see how it behaves and save. Okay, so what it says is template ddctp 25 colon hero 1 is not defined. So let us check why it is not defined. Here, okay, this is hero, we have typo, it should be hero 1. Nobody told me this. Hero 1, because the name of the files inside the folder should be exactly the same just like the folder itself. Clear? And ddiv does yeah. Now what does it say? ddctp 25 defined.
Check the paragraph file names.
Which one?
Paragraph file names.
hero 1. No, I think the problem will be here. Component. It's not components, it's component, because it reads all the metadata from the component file, so we have problem with it. Now it has been, it's working kind of. We just need to fix it now. So this is the title, this is and this is the link. So the link actually is not working. In such scenarios, how to know why is something not working? So you can easily, in your relevant quick file, for example, we can dump content, dump dot field underscore URL, field underscore link. So it should be 0, type is link, title 0 title.
Yes.
Okay, so we need to pass the title to it. It will be 0 something like this. So now it is showing the go to link. Okay, why are these two black? How is it in the original one? Okay, the text here is white, and maybe we need to run the,
Because the DaisyUI already is in the dark theme and we have changed it into the light theme, that's why the color is not working.
maybe we need to run some of the CSS. Inspect. Okay, we already have designed actually this is, we have set it up in our style.css,
Yes.
because we had set up the, where it
Style.
is,
CSS. Yes.
yes, this is because we can comment this out for now, even this. So how to comment it?
Forward
Hopefully it will fix it. So now this is working. We can remove the dump, and where we will have to remove it from, the, we'll delete the dump from the place we added to. So I think we are good to go with the design. So this is now the single source of truth for any future designs. If you need something like this, we will have to just include the relevant SDC component. So for example, let us create if you create a new content type, or maybe block type. Do you know how to add a block?
Yes, sir.
Add content type, content block types, add block type, and it can be hero. So this is a separate entity type, you should know.
Yes.
So we will also call it hero1. Save an image fields, we'll change it to description, and then a title, another one is What else we had? And image, media image. And also a link field. So the structure for the block is ready. By the way, you can use this block now in normal structure blocks also, and the layout builder as well. Okay, what should be the formatter for image? It should be thumbnail URL. And we should hide all the labels also. Okay, if we need to, we'll just quickly copy this code and we'll go to block, copy, paste, block dash dash hero1 dot html dot twig. Let us check if it is working. For now we will just dump it. Okay, how to create a block structure? Rather we will go to content, blocks, add content block. Which one? Hero1. So this is test block 1, and this is going to be the description. So let us copy some. What is difference between this description and this description? This is the default which appears on the block layout, and then the title, this is title, and this is going to be image. So maybe this one, the URL, okay. If we save it and assign it some region, maybe pre-content for now, and we should show it only on the front page. Save. And the same block you can choose add to the layout builder also, if you use that method. We are using paragraphs, but you can use this one. Okay, so if we go to the home page now, home page, and we clear cache because it is brush I think title, description, title, image, URL, save. Why is it not showing? Okay, let us move this. Maybe the region has some problem.
Maybe it was content section. I think here is the blocks.
Here is the block, right? It is showing actually. So now if we inspect it, this is the default one, and the naming convention for the blocks is a bit different. So right now the default one is used, but if we use this one, block dash dash ddcdp25 dash this, so it can be that will take the effect, or this one also. So maybe this one is most relevant. Block dash content dash id dash ddcdp25 dash test block 1 dot html dot twig, or this one view type hero 1 dash full dot html dot, and this one is also block dash content. I think this one should be the best one, dash type dash hero 1 dot html dot. So let us do that. It is block dash content which one we created a while ago, this one. So it will be block dash content dash type dash hero 1 dot html dot. Let me just check it again. Block dash type dash hero 1 dot html dot twig. I think we are good to go.
Yes.
Hero 1 dot, and then we will need to clear cache again. So now it is dumping, it means it is taking effect. So we have body, field image, field link, and field title, right? So now is the time. What should we do now? Do we need all this from the main? We may need it, because you can pass these attributes to the twig file, the single directory component, and so on. If you ever need to, you can just use these, but we'll just for now get rid of all this, even the dump. So what should we do? Copy
it from
the paragraph,
hero.
this one, this thing we just need to copy to pass the variables. Okay, I think we failed to copy it. Okay, so do we need to make any changes? We do, because
Yes,
some of the field names are different. So let us go to structure, block types, manage fields, structure, block types, manage fields. So they are the body, field underscore image, field underscore link, field underscore title. So field underscore title, field underscore image, description is, this is just body. And then I think this one is fine. So let us clear cache. Image is for some reason not working. What could be the reason? Okay, URL is empty. Maybe the machine name of the blog is different. Okay, this is field underscore image. So now it is working fine. Another way, so where is this markup coming from? The single source of truth, which is the single directory component. So if you need to change the button color or anything like this, you will have to just change things at the single source. Is this clear? Okay. Now again to the atomic design concepts. Right now we are hard coding this button in the design. How should it be?
So we should create a different
yes, we should have a separate component for the button.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
so inside the components folder we can create a new one folder and we will call it buttons, and then inside each of inside the folder we can have different types of so this one can be, for example, primary, and then we can have secondary and so on, and each will have its own. Yes. For now let us start with the primary one. So if you go to the DaisyUI and go to some buttons, where are buttons? Button. These are different button types, right? Maybe if you go to the HTML, so each one of these is a button type. So for now let us copy the primary one, btn and btn dash primary. So what we need, new file primary dot component dot yml, and another will be primary dot twig, just twig, and in the twig we'll just paste this here. So this one will be the text or some variable. That's it. Clear? Yes. Now we need to define component.yml, so let us just quickly do it from here. Component and move it to primary.yml. Okay, the name should be primary button and basic primary button. Okay, what we need for it, not title or anything else, just maybe the link for now, the link text. Actually we should have the actual link also, but for now, just for demonstration purposes, we'll make it just text link, and this is the variable we are using inside this. Clear?
Yes.
So now we have a new component which is primary. Similarly, you can define all your buttons here, just like primary we can have a secondary as well, and so on. Let us quickly do this one as well because it is not that tough. So we'll copy these two. The name of the component files should be exactly like the folder. Similarly, it should be secondary dot take. Is this clear? And the markup for the secondary links should be maybe this one. And we'll make it link also. Is this clear? So now we have two extra components. And we clear cache Okay, my question to you now is, how can, right now in the hero section, this is a hero component, we are using this button as a hard coded value. Button class is this, link this. So how can now we include this primary link here? Will you use this just like we did it there? Will we include
that component
and the name of the DDCDP25 primary, that's it, and with the values.
Yes.
So the second parameter is the link variable, which is there defined, and here we also have link.
Yes.
So it will be what? Colon link, and we will remove this button altogether. So now we are including a component within a component. Okay, so this is the basic component and we are including it here. Similarly, we can have multiple components included here as per our designs. So you can imagine the atomic principles are being used here. This is the basic button, for example. So we can have some basic elements here and it will make a card or something like that. Now if I clear cache, first we should go to hero got testing link for link. Okay,
so we have used in the primary button for the text.
What?
In the primary button, sir, you have used a text.
And include
primary components, sir. Twig one.
This link string. In the variable it is okay.
Text is.
You are right. Thank you. And it should be.
I've changed it.
Here it is fine, I think. The unknown argument link for function include template. This context hero one dot. Maybe we need to clear cache now. Components, buttons, primary, secondary. So it has name is primary button. It is in this file we are including ddcdp25 colon primary. I think the include syntax has some problem. Link. How are we including it? Include. Okay.
Inside the object, sir.
Set the object, yes.
So we are not using that object.
Sorry. Good catch. Sorry, here it is. Is this okay now?
Yes.
Okay, now where is this button coming from?
From the second component.
Yes. If I want to change it to secondary, what I will have to do? Just change it to secondary. And now it is secondary. So you can have, this is also a component. One thing, if we inspect it, and even the development tools, the markup shows component starts here, so you can know which part of the markup is coming from which component.
Yes.
And even here it says component starts from hero. This is hero component. Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay, so from now on, what should be your methodology to create templates or themes in Drupal?
Create
Through
components.
components.
Yes, we have to use it.
Okay, there are some interesting things still left, and we are going to cover those as well. These are carousels, right? So you can, with the slide, you can move them, and any of these have this markup. So we can create components. You get the idea now. But let us do some site building now with these components. How to do it? What is site building versus theming?
Structure is site building, structure of the site.
Site building means using clicks, or from the GUI interface you are doing a lot of stuff in Drupal. Maybe you don't need to plunge into code. So that is known as site building. For example, if I have to create a content type and then go to manage display and manage form display and all of these,
Yes.
and if I can achieve something with that, that is known as site building. So now with the help of site building, I want to achieve the same thing which we did with a bit of code through using the single directory component. So if I go to structure, content types, I will create a new content type and I will call it, for just demonstration purposes, I will call it hero. Okay, and save. So now the content type should have the same fields so that we can create the same design. So maybe we already have title. Let us use description. So if we have any description field, no, we don't have, so we will have to create new field and we will call it description, and it should be formatted along this. And then we should have a media image as well.
Yes.
So if there is media, yes, we do have media image field, we will reuse it. And the third one is link. Create, reuse an existing field or create a new one. So here we will use just any existing field, and it will be, or we can create a link field also, but for now let us create a new field, text field, and we'll call it link. Continue and save. Okay, so if I go to content, add content and hero, so title, description, image and link.
Yes.
Clear?
Yes.
Now if I save it, and I created node TPL for this one, relevant to, and include the same component, so again
Yes.
it will be the same design, but I want to do it with the help of site building, not through theme. So there is a module called SDC display, and this single directory components display. We will enable it, ddiv dash and by the way, there are a lot of such modules coming up and exciting times are ahead. What it is saying, I think the name of that module is something different. maybe we can use the dev version for now. Requires this module is obsolete, but I'm not sure why does it need it. Def composer require So I think error is about some version problem. So what we can do is, well, again copy the link, and in the root composer.json file, for now we will make it as from this minimum stability to dev, or maybe beta for now, and we will reissue the command composer require Drupal as EC display and beta redev. So hopefully it will run. Yes, I think it is now working. So if you go to structure, I think we still need to enable it. So ddef rush en sdc underscore display -1. By the way, there are now even more sophisticated ways of improving your site building with SDCs, but this is just start. So if you go to the relevant content type now, content types, hero manage field. So what do you think, where will be the setting for SDC now?
Manage display.
Good, manage display. So in the manage display, on the bottom of the screen, there is an option render using a component. So all the available components, and if you, by the way, I just forgot to mention, if you use screenshot.png in the folder for the component, they will show up here. For example, let me just quickly do, yes, the thumbnail. So maybe if we go to our site and just take a screenshot from here, and we will move it to the relevant SDC component. Themes, custom, this component, heroes, hero. Here we will paste it, and we will rename it to screenshot.png. Clear? Okay, so hopefully if we refresh the page, maybe we need to or should it be, but you get the idea.
Yes.
Let us don't waste time on it. Okay, so the component which we are going to use is hero. So we want this node to be rendered via this component. Clear? And one thing, because for some reasons, display reasons, on the admin screens we should add some dummy links here, but this is the actual stuff in the prop section. So what should be the main title? The main title of the node. What should be the image URL? The media image. What should be description? This description. And what should be the link? This. I think it is links or link. Link. That's it, and save. Okay, so we have saved this. Now there is one more setting we can do. In the description render using a remove markup. Do you remember from where does this come? Remove field markup. Which module we had used?
No markups.
Yes, so no markup module needs to be here, so that the wrapper field this one. So if you have installed this no markup module, we will have this checkbox so that the extra divs are removed. Similarly, the media image, remove, update, and this one is remove field markup, and so on. If we go to content, add content and add a hero now. This is test, and let us add some. And then the link, save. Okay, so there are some issues. Maybe the formatter is not structure.
I think you should also have to change the image to the thumbnail URL. So.
Yes, that's we are maybe not using the thumbnail URL option. This is render entity, so it should be thumbnail URL. Okay, this is tester, this is image, okay, there are some wrapper divs still. Maybe there we also need to set something. Hero, manage fields, manage display, and text, remove field markup. So now this design is coming from the node template, and automatically through manage display. So you have skipped one step, so that you can do it from the Drupal admin screens rather than doing it from the template. So in your okay, one more thing, even the individual fields can be rendered as
the components.
As a component. Individual field can be rendered as a component. That's the power of it. Let me edit it. What was the link we had given? This is link, and there it is showing as test Y.
So we have used the hard-coded link field. So go to the primary components or secondary components.
This is link.
Not this one. No, hero components. Hero. And here we have used a test. So.
Okay. Good catch. Fuck, you are really sharp, mashallah. Now this is dynamic. Well done, good catch. Okay, so we are doing it here from the code. Yes. But if we were not doing it from the code, so what we can do is something like this also: structure, content types, home, manage display. So each of the field, you can notice, if I click on, for example, this was the one I want to use it as a component. So you will just click on it, and here the setting for single directory components is there. So if I click on it, again the same setting will come, and I will choose any of the for example primary button or secondary button, and then the variable will be passed to. So you can just judge the power of it. Okay, I will leave it like this and save. Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay, there is one more concept which is slots. I'm not going to cover it, but you will get the idea. Slots in single directory components. So this is an example of alert. The props are normal values, and the slots actually are here. Slots is heading, which is title, and message, which is title. So any variables inside the slots, just like we have props for the components, so slots can have anything, any markup. You can call it dump or markup or anything. So for example, there is a lot of text somewhere, and you don't know the inner values of that particular. Example is accordion. So if I have an accordion component, the title and the body of the accordion. So the body can have images also, or it can have some text also, anything like that. So I will make the body of the accordion a slot, and I will give you a link for the tutorial which we have on our website drupak.com, which is for Drupal 10, but still some of those things are applicable. I mean, you can go through this one. Setting up single directory components, Storybook and TailwindCSS in. So we have the slots example here, and it has a corresponding Drupal corresponding YouTube video also. So this is the slot section for the component.yml in the accordion. So in the slots we have a key, and it can be anything then. So that this variable can have a dump of HTML actually.
Yes.
Okay, not a single value. Got it?
Yes.
And this is that block which is then used. So you can yourself, it's very easy. You can just read some tutorial about it, but slots are something which we can use in components.yml also. Like here we have props, and then at the end you can add something like slots. The slots also can have some variable, and then you can use those inside your trick markup.
Yes.
Right? And now talking about something called Tailwind, and this is a theme our team is developing, and I will go to Tailwind. It is still under active development. If you just search Tailwind, so here it will be ready very soon. And this is the YouTube video which actually gave rise to this theme. It has a detailed presentation about how to create single directory components and Tailwind CSS. I will click on this video. You should, and you not should but must watch this one. This is Storybook, Tailwind CSS, Alpine JS with single directory components in Drupal 11. So you must watch this one.
Okay.
It's a very comprehensive one, and it has all of the demo things we did today, as well as something called Storybook integration. So I wanted that to be part of this lecture also, but it is already there. So that would be duplication. You can go to this lecture and study storybook yourself. So what is storybook? So we can incorporate storybook also with this atomic design principles in Drupal, and it is build UIs without the grunt work. Storybook is a front-end workshop for building UI components and pages in isolation. So as an example, if I start creating these components from a Figma design, so I need structure in Drupal to link it with. Okay, so for example, I have to create heroes section from the Figma in this components directory. So I will need for the Drupal developers to create heroes section data structure like paragraphs or blocks or node, so that I can test it. So what Storybook does is it will help you see all of your components and test them without Drupal first. So you can just create all your components, and there will be a way to test those components, and once the structure is the design is ready, you can start doing or creating components. So all of that is explained in this video, YouTube video for Storybook, TailwindCSS, Alpine.js with single directory components. And all of the new Drupal modules, I mean there are plethora of modules which has support for single directory components. So one of the lectures we will dedicate to those as well, but for now you can just go with creating basic components and trying and testing them. And this Storybook integration video is very important as well, you can go through it too. So what we studied today, we created single directory components for just 3 things for now: buttons, primary and secondary, and then in the hero section we have a hero one. No. And one thing I wanted to show is this components old folder. Actually these are all the components we have created for the Tailwind theme. I downloaded them manually, but once it is ready, in fact you can still download it, but once the component the Tailwind theme is ready, so this will be a lot of components which you may need for in your daily Drupal usage. So as an example, we have cards header, carousel, and so on. But this combination of DaisyUI and single directory components can give you a lot of power using Drupal. And DaisyUI is based on Tailwind also, so this is power plus power. See you next time.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
I thought there were some topics left or you just forgot during the class, so I added them at the end of this lecture. So we will continue for a few minutes and then we will wrap it up. One thing I forgot was we can have CSS and JavaScript as per. We can have CSS and JavaScript inside components. So just like in heroes we created in the hero1 folder, we created hero1.css and JavaScript. So any JavaScript or CSS can be added to it. Similarly, if I go to buttons and the secondary buttons, so for example, I need to have, though we are using DaisyUI and TailwindCSS, but we can add our own CSS also. So with the same name, just like the folder name, we will create a new file and it will be secondary.css. So if I go to the markup, this button has this btn-secondary. So what we can do is maybe we can add extra classes also, and I will also show you another way, but for now let us create this add some CSS to this class. Maybe for now border 10 pixel solid white, or maybe 5 pixel, and we will clear cache. So if you refresh the page, this is the secondary button, and now you can see there is border added to it. So we can add component specific CSS inside the folder for the component, just like we added it now. So now this CSS will be applied to the component markup. We will go ahead and create one more component from DaisyUI, and this is going to be a collapse component. We will call it collapse. How do I create an account? And if I click on it, it shows up, and if I close it, it closes. So this is what we are going to create, and we will do it with Drush. Drush has a command to generate SDCs for you. Also, we will try using slot in this example also, but for now let us just go to the terminal and we will start creating the component. So if we see it has this title and then the description. So both of them right now are props. Did Drush generate SDC? So in it will ask you a few questions. So in which theme you want it to be. So the theme we have is DDCTP 25. Then the component name should be collapse 1. Maybe if there are other styles of collapse also, that's why I just named it 1. So the second one will be 2 and so on. So collapse 1, and the machine name is this. Description: used to show or hide some content by clicking on a title, something like this. We don't need any libraries for it. Maybe some certain components need some libraries which you have defined in your libraries.yml, so you can add those here. Does it need CSS? Maybe we need it, so it will create a .css file also. Yes, we may need some JavaScript, so we will create a JavaScript file also. And need component props, so yes, so the first one should be title. So the prop title should be title. Machine name is title. Description is optional, so we don't need it. And which type it should be string. Add another prop, yes, we do need it, and that will be description. Machine name is description, no need for the description optional, and it should also be of type string. Add another prop, so we don't need any other prop, so we will select no. Now it asks for slots, so we don't need slots at the moment, but we'll change our component which has been generated by SDC Drush command later on. We'll say no to this, and that's it. So it has generated a component for us with all the relevant files. For example, collapse1.component.yml, the CSS and JS files, and the collapse1.twig file, and thumbnail.jpg. So you need to replace it with your custom thumbnail, and maybe some readme.file. So if I go to the code now, so we have a collapse1 component. So if I click on component 1, it is just the same thing we did manually. Props, it has type object and the properties, so title and description. Similarly, the collapse1.css, we can write any CSS here, and notice it is inside its own data component -id of this, so it will make it more specific, better than what we had previously for the button primary. And then JavaScript file, so if in case we need any JavaScript, this is Drupal specific JavaScript known as Drupal JavaScript behaviors. So we can write any JavaScript inside this attached context. So any JavaScript we can add here rather than this console.log. And then the twig file, so though the variables have not been added automatically, so we can copy the markup from this and place it here. One thing, you can use the attributes which might have any Drupal specific classes and stuff coming from Drupal core. So right now we don't need it. I will remove this from here. So this is going to be the markup for. And how do I need this? Is going to become the title, which has been defined in the component.yml, and this will be the description. So our component right now is ready. And we'll save it. Excuse me. Okay, so the component is ready, and that's where, as I have linked that YouTube video which I have posted on my channel for storybook integration. So right now there is no linkages from Drupal, but we have the component design ready. So in such scenarios, that video can help you, and we can show this component inside the storybook before we connect it with Drupal markup. But right now we will create a new paragraph type, and we will call it collapse, or maybe collapse 1. Okay, it should have two fields, title and description, so we can reuse them because we already have a lot of such fields. This is field title, and then the description. This one is description. So the markup for this is ready, and by the way we can clear the cache so that our component is visible. Now the paragraph type is collapse 1. We will do it from the theme so that we can easily get the concepts first. So in the templates paragraph, we will create a new one, and we will make it dash dash collapse1 dot html dot page. Paragraph dash dash collapse1 dot html dot. So here we will now pass we will call the relevant component. So let us make it easy. We'll just copy the hero1 markup to save some time, and inside the collapse one, probably we don't need all this, so we'll include DTCDP hero1. We'll change it to collapse 1, and then the title will be content.field underscore title 0, and the description, we already have the description. So description is content.field underscore 0, and we don't need anything else, so we'll remove the code afterwards. I think this is good. We can now clear cache again, and let us go to, maybe we just need to add the newly created collapse component. Okay, so add content, landing page, testing, collapse, and the inner content will add collapse 1. So collapse 1 has title and description. So this is some title, and we'll generate this and copy text, and this is going to be description. The columns are 12 so that it stretches the whole width, and save. So that's it, it works. Lovely collapse component for you. Now where does the slot fit in? Right now we are using the text here, but what if we want to make it dynamic so that anything can be added here, any markup, any sort of stuff? In that scenario, slot becomes important. So what we will do is, if I come to the components, collapse 1 component, so here just like props we can have slots, and in the slot we'll just have maybe title, so title is, we'll call it anything or any markup, and then we can have description also. Let me quickly go to the slots in SDC just to make sure we are on the right track. So this is going to be the object, we just forgot to add the variable name. It should be, we can call it anything, and the anything will be, it will have a title of this and this. You can name it anything, but I have named it anything explicitly just for your concept, so we can move anything inside this variable. So this variable now can be used inside the twig file we have created. So if I come to the twig file for the component here, and it uses twig blocks, and it should be exactly the same variable name like this. And this shows what can be inside a slot. So Drupal renderer is PHP objects of these interfaces, the nested components, twig blocks, and HTML markup. So if I go to the Drupak article we had written for Drupal 10, let's go for slot. So you can see we have a slot for accordion, the name is accordion, and then in the twig file we can use it as this, so the twig block and end block. So this is what we have done. We have a block anything and then the end block tag like this, and save. So this is what will print the slot here. We can remove the description, but I will leave it for now. So what we can now do is, if I will clear cache, and in the block on the collapse one paragraph type, we have description, so we can have another paragraph, nested paragraph item type, and it can be something like if we have already used this, maybe content, inner content reuse. So we can have multiple here. We can have standalone image, where is okay, images only, text only, maybe view, whatever we can have here. Even the hero one can be placed here and save. Okay, so this is that field now inside our twig file, where we can pass it to the component as a slot, this inner field. So if we come to our paragraph type, which is collapse one, so here we will pass the slots from this paragraph type to the relevant component, but a bit differently. So how do we do it right now? So far we have been using the include, but we can also use twig embed. So if you are using slots, it's better to use the embed tag like this, okay, rather than include. And then we after the embed, we will pass the same component, and we will use the width and this whole thing. So props will be passed after width in this object, and we don't need this include anymore, because we will be doing the same with embed. So embed collapse one with, so nothing has changed, but then inside this embed tag we will use the relevant. If we go to the collapse one.twig, so we are using the block anything this here, so this block will be used there in the relevant paragraph type, this one. So here we will use block, and the name of the block is anything, and then end block. So the same block we have used, and then inside these blocks we will use the paragraph field we created, the inner paragraph field, paragraph type, where is this collapse. So this is that field we want to pass as slot, so it will be content dot field dot anything, field dot inner content. So this actually is whole output of this block will be passed to the corresponding block in the component as slot, and slot we have defined inside the component.yml. So I think we are good to go now. This field can have anything inside it, and if I now create, I will first clear the cache. Then if you go to content, add content, landing page, and we'll call it testing slots, and I will add content, and then in the content we will add collapse one. So this is that inner content field, we can have anything inside it. For now let us just add an image, maybe this image, and then the title should be this is title, and in the description you can have some extra description also. Let us copy something, this is a lot of it, so one paragraph of it will come from the description because we are outputting it in the component, and then this image should also show up, and the should be full width, and save. And if I open it now, you can see this is coming from the description field, but this image is coming from the inner paragraph field. So in slots we can have anything like this. Maybe if I edit it and add then this image only, if I remove it, and instead of image only, if I add a hero one, and if you remember yesterday we created the hero one, this is the title, and this is going to be description, and then the media image, maybe this one, and if we have any link we can add link also, and save. If you open it, so we have the hero inside this, so anything can go inside the slot, and if such is the situation you can use slots, and this is a very powerful structured system. So that's what I wanted to show at the end of the video. So see you next time. And just a little recap of the final part. What we did was we studied how to create single directed components from Drush, and how to use slots. Those were the missing pieces, and thank you very much. See you in the next lecture.